was so grainy and so contrasty. I kept hitting buttons. I turned everything black and white. I sent them like 10 images. I get a call back in under half of an hour. Usher's manager's on the phone. He's like, I don't know what you did, but his whole thing is old Hollywood, and he wants... I was like, what? And so he wants this black and white, grainy, high contrast thing, and he wants to know if you'd be open to going on tour with him as his personal photographer. So that's how I learned photography is
oh my God.
On YouTube.
Meet Walid Azami, a renowned photographer from Los Angeles who has worked with celebrities like J-Lo, Madonna, and Usher. His photographs are stunning, but it wasn't always like that. In fact, when he first started out, he bought a camera and didn't even know how to use it.
You ever give a piece of electronic to a grandparent and you're like, here, work it, and they're looking at it? That's how I was with the camera. I didn't know what an f-stop was. I didn't even know Photoshop existed.
But then something incredible happened. Thanks to the power of
YouTube
and listening to his intuition,
that gut feeling,
he was able to land the job of a lifetime. Here's the story about how Walid became Usher's personal photographer. I would love for you to welcome to the stage, Walid Azami.
I paid rent that month, so I had no more money left, and I had one more credit card, and my mom and dad, also refugees, they did everything from picking fruit to working laundromats to washing dishes, and no less than 2 jobs ever. And I thought, how am I going to be a failure when they've worked so hard? And I have a college degree, and I have all these things going for me, but I was really failing. And I had this weird feeling, this thing that he's talking about, to buy a camera. But I don't even know, if you ever give a piece of electronic to a grandparent and you're like, here, work it, and they're looking at it. That's how I was with the camera. I didn't know what an f-stop was. I didn't even know Photoshop existed. That's how backwards I was.
Something told you to get a camera.
Get a camera, and I kept suppressing that thought, and it wouldn't go away. But the next rent cycle was coming too, and I thought, okay, it kept buy a camera, buy a camera, buy a camera. So one day, I get in my car after 2 weeks of this feeling not, silencing itself. Like a dummy, I went to the camera store. No, I'm glad I went, but I was like, hi, I want to be a photographer, and I have $2,000 on my credit card. And they sold me $1,998 and whatever, right? I bought batteries and battery chargers and everything. The look that you have, I sat in my car and I was like, what did I do? Okay? This story, I told you, it was going to take a minute, but it's
no, keep
coming
going,
in.
Please.
And so I went home. I'm looking at this thing, what am I supposed to do with it? Really, for real. I did not know anything. I bought all these weird arm extensions that they sold me, and it was terrible.
They sold you, didn't they?
They sold me, yeah. And I had the kit lens. I had a prosumer camera, which is a nice way of saying you're not really there with a professional camera. It's just big body, small insides, and with a camera. That's what it is. Yeah, and. It was, so about 4 or 5 days later, now what happened in that 1 week of staring at this camera, I ran out of money, and my credit card had $1.50 left in it or something, and I was embarrassed to tell anybody, even my best friend, he's here somewhere, Matt, but I couldn't ask anybody for help, and I'm trying to figure out how to go to the next room and tell April, my roommate, hey, can't pay rent, I get a call from a friend. So I had actually called Trader Joe's and I said, hey, what day do you guys throw out food? And the guy knew why. I guess they were getting a lot of calls as the recession is really hitting, And he told me, he's like, on this day, produce, on this day, dry goods, on this day, whatever. And I went dumpster diving for food. I didn't even have enough money for food. And probably 3-4 days after that, I get a call from a friend of a friend of a friend that said, hey, Walid? So whenever someone says Walid, but whenever it says Walid, they don't know me. So I'm like, who is this, you know? And they said, do you do behind the scenes video? And I was like, yes. And they said, okay, well, Usher just fired his videographer. Okay? That's literally the look that I had too. Yeah. And I was so excited because I could buy food. I don't have to go to the back of the grocery store next week, you know? And I went out, and as I was about to close the door, this feeling came up again and said, he doesn't know that you're here for video. Grab that camera that you bought too. And so I grabbed that camera, and I had the little BlackBerry Curve. Right? Remember the one with the ball?
Oh, yeah.
And if you had greasy food, the ball would get stuck. And you'd like, rub it on your shirt and clean it and stuff. And I wrote on that, f-stop means, if you want the picture to be brighter, do the button here. Like I Googled this, right? And I went to the Kodak Theater. It was like 2 levels underground, so there was no reception. And I had in this little BlackBerry notepad, and I put literally I was on autopilot with my instincts. And I said, I'm just gonna go with it. I have nothing else to lose right now. I'm gonna go with it. And I'm taking pictures, and so there's this thing called Kelvin, which is light temperature. They have fluorescent lights, so my pictures are like yellow and blue and every color, and they're like muddy looking, because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm pushing buttons and
You're taking photography of Usher while doing that?
pictures are coming out, but it's not the pictures that I want. Yeah, and then like will.i.am comes in there, and I'm like, what is going on, right? And Usher, okay, when I get nervous, I look really, really, really nervous. So again, kind of like this, you know, like, yeah, no. And so he asks me, what f-stop are you using? And I had this deer in headlights face, and I'm telling you, the instincts were kicking in like times 100. And I looked at him, and something in my brain said, it's better that he thinks you're crazy than not having any idea. I looked at him and I walked away. And I did, and I walked away, and I went upstairs 2 flights to the Kodak Theater, like where that Forever 21 is and all the street performers, and I'm like, f-stop, okay, f-stop was that, come back, you know? And I'm taking pictures. The video camera, by the way, is on a tripod, record. It's just like a wide shot, like a security camera, pretty much. And I'm taking pictures, and I'm going on machine gun mode. I'm like whatever. I went home, completely just shook up about everything. I don't know what happened. I went home, and I looked at these pictures. They're every color but the color that they should be. And I didn't know Photoshop existed. And probably out of like, I had a 1 gig card, by the way. And I was shooting on, if you guys take pictures, on JPEG small. So you can't even make that more than like an 8x10 at best, you know? And I kept shooting, and I went home, and I was like, okay. And if you guys use Mac, I'm sure PC has something too, the preview thing, like you open a PDF in. I went into settings, and I was trying to like retouch on that.
So the monitor changed, but the actual photo did not, kind of thing?
So if I was to send you a JPEG, you can double click it, and then on a Mac, I don't know what PC has, but you can, what is it, you guys? It's like, you can change the contrast and the saturation.
Oh, okay. Like vibrance and all that
That's
stuff.
it, you know? So they called me after 3 days of me going, what just happened? But I was getting a paycheck for food, you know, to buy the next month's groceries. And Benny Medina, Usher's then manager, called and was like, hey, where are those pictures? And I had to open the folders, and I pulled out maybe 10 that you can tell that was Usher, okay? And something told me, I'm literally on autopilot of instincts, something told me, you know what? Just go black and white, because your pictures are right now blue and yellow and everything because of light temperature. And because I didn't know how to brighten a picture, I kept pushing the ISO all the way up, so it was so grainy and so contrasty. I kept hitting buttons. I turned everything black and white. I sent them like 10 images. I get a call back in under half of an hour. Usher's manager's on the phone. He's like, I don't know what you did, but his whole thing is old Hollywood, and he wants... I was like, what? And so he wants this black and white, grainy, high contrast thing, and he wants to know if you'd be open to going on tour with him as his personal photographer. So that's how I learned photography is
Oh my God.
on YouTube, and I would type things on YouTube like the first searches were like, how do you take off a lens on a camera? You know, it was like that. And
Oh my gosh.
yeah, so it was really rough. And I would go, and he loves to party, so we would record real late nights. I would follow him everywhere. And we would get home or to the hotel room at 3 a.m, and then I would sit till 5 or 6 till I would fall asleep sitting up, and I would learn one new thing on YouTube. And I promised myself I was going to learn one thing every single day. And the next day, Usher would be like, let's do this. I'm like, well, let's not, because I had learned window lighting. And so I was like, how about this window here? Because that's all that I knew. But I knew one thing more than yesterday. And then on Tuesday, I would know 3 things. And I kept going. And at some point, I discovered there was Photoshop, you know? And I discovered, so that's what I would do. And I would just like make things up. And so that's why I was so nervous to release the book, to answer your question from 35 minutes ago. That's why I was so nervous, because I was learning things on my own. And I was making lights with Home Depot stuff and everything. And then, I don't know, I guess people just started calling after that. Like I did a lot of things, you know? And yeah, here I am, FlynnCon, yeah.
Wow.
So.
You got people standing up for you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow.
Long answer.
I didn't know that he was going to tell that story.
Yeah.
That story needs to be a book. Yes. Your life story needs to be a book.
Thank you. Thank you.
There
Thank you.
are so many